Hello, welcome to the video. I love fighting games. It is one of my personal favorite genres within all of gaming. I truly fell in love with it with Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting on the Super Nintendo, and it kind of just grew from there, trying out numerous different games, from Street Fighter 5 to Guilty Gear Strive, with one of my personal favorites being Killer Instinct. So when I heard that there were veterans from the Killer Instinct team building a new fighting game in the form of Invincible Versus, I was incredibly excited. Not only that, but also discovering that the game was going to be a tag fighter, a subgenre that I had very little experience with. I played a smidge of UMVC3 with my friends, and then I played I think like 2 hours of Dragon Ball FighterZ. So due to my lack of knowledge within tag fighters, I thought I could bring a unique perspective of reviewing Invincible Versus. So buckle up, let's talk about Invincible Versus. Going into Invincible Versus, I wanted to keep an open mind knowing that veterans from Iron Galaxy were spearheading this game. Believing that this could be the spiritual successor, I think would set it up for failure in my opinion. And while I was correct in that thought process, I was surprised to find that there was some spirit of Killer Instinct within this game. From the character select screen, the music, all the way to the gameplay, I got flashbacks to when I started to play Killer Instinct. I was ecstatic to find that the combo meter makes a return and it works in a very similar fashion. The main difference is that it leverages the tag system. Assists and tagging lowers the combo meter so you can extend your combos. This incentivizes combo structures with your whole team rather than just one person, and managing your resources to pull it off. And in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, if the combo meter makes a return, does the combo breaker system also make a return? The answer is no. For the most part. You can burst out of combos similar to Guilty Gear, however, the tag system also coincides with this. You have your standard assists and tags, but baked into that, you can now tag with a delayed hit or tag and not even hit your opponent at all in order to bait out the burst I mentioned earlier. And you can imagine the mind games that would ensue from there. As far as what the moment-to-moment gameplay feels like, this game is remarkably fast, but I think this will be right at home for people who have already dipped their toe into the tag fighting genre. It was definitely way faster from my perspective because I only had experience within 1v1 fighters. When I discovered that there were no motion inputs, I was a little sad, but it made sense in the back of my mind due to the game's pace. So you can imagine my raw excitement when I discovered that there was a second control scheme designed around motion inputs. As soon as I swapped to that control scheme, I'm not even kidding, I went from having fun to goblin brain frothing at the mouth kind of fun, because not only was it more familiar, but it was also just a ton of fun. Way more fun than the basic control scheme if you ask me. The combo structure for each character is very similar to one another. Lights go into mediums, go into heavies, down heavy being a universal launcher. On paper, that sounds inherently restrictive for what the combo structure could be, but that could not be further from the truth. While the game isn't as refined as something like Street Fighter or an Arc Sys game, you can definitely tell that the developers put in a lot of elbow grease into this to make it in depth, to make it fast, to make it ballistic. And it just reminds me of why I love the genre so much. The content in this game is separated into a couple different mediums that you will be interacting with. You have your arcade mode, which is pretty standard, and then you have a full-fledged single-player story. I played the intro section and it seems pretty interesting so far, and I'm definitely going to be playing more for sure. But on top of that, you have your offline versus like every fighting game known to man. Then you have your online matches. You have casual matches and ranked. For its online play, the game has rollback netcode and it's overall pretty solid. A couple stutters here and there, but that's mainly because I was fighting against people who were probably halfway across the next star system. But outside of that, the game has been buttery smooth online, and that gives so much peace of mind, especially if you are going to be climbing in ranked. And even just at a first glance from all the unlockables within the game, there's music, there's artwork. While this is overall pretty standard, I do think because this is coming from an IP that people know, the interest of the content is already there. So I think people will get value and reward from unlocking stuff within the game. In conclusion, I am very much on board with what I'm seeing and what I'm interacting with, and I for one cannot wait to uncover more within the game. It is a brand new fighter, and because of that, there's going to be a saturation of brand new players. This is a great time to hop in the case that it catches your interest. Even if you've never played a fighting game before, or even slightly intimidated by the genre, because I was intimidated by the genre when I first started, there will be players at a similar skill level as you because the game is in its infancy. I do think the standard control scheme is beginner friendly, but the mechanical density of the game can be very much overwhelming. But I'm kind of glad that the game doesn't hold back, because I think mechanical density breeds creativity and in the end, creates fun. And quarter-up games know that. And because of that, it makes this game feel truly invincible. Thank you for watching.